And before we move on, I'll just add Al Groh. He's on it every year.
Oh, yeah.
He lost to William and Mary. Then he just got beat pretty bad by TCU. So I'll put him as the other one, and maybe Steve Cragthorpe, too. He needs a big year over at Louisville. But let's move on to our next topic. Got a few good games this weekend. Probably the big matchup is number 19 Nebraska going over to Blacksburg to take on number 13 Virginia Tech. Mike, we'll start with you. Do you like the Hokies or do you like the Cornhuskers?
I hate to say this because I love the ACC, but I think Nebraska wins this game. I think they're ready to move up and not absolutely get back to where they were in the 1990s, but really take another step forward. So I like Nebraska to win this game. I'm not a believer in Tyrod Taylor being able to put this team on his back and throw touchdown passes to win the game. I don't know how well they're going to run the ball. I know Beamer ball is special teams and defense, but I don't think that's going to get them far enough. It's just like we talked about in week 1. I don't think they can win the ACC because they don't have a strong enough running game, and I'm not a believer in Tyrod Taylor.
Jordan.
This one's interesting. I would really like to see Nebraska lose this ball game because I don't necessarily understand how they got thrown into the top 25. And I know they've had 2 convincing wins so far, but they've been playing Sisters of the Poor.
One of those Sisters of the Poor we play. Arkansas State.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not a sister of the poor.
That's true.
They went over to Kyle Field last year and beat Texas A&M. I'm just talking them up because we play them.
I'm just saying.
I'll let you keep talking.
I agree with Mike about Tyrod Taylor. This game is in Blacksburg. If this was a night game, that's one of the most intimidating atmospheres in the country. I say Virginia Tech wins it, not by intimidation alone, but as a factor. This one's a toss-up because I agree with you about Tyrod Taylor. At the same time, Nebraska, I don't think, is ready to make that big step. It's a collision of 2 teams that possibly will both not be ranked this high at the end of the season. You saw last year you could have, 4 losses and get to the ACC championship. So I think it's a very interesting matchup. I like it. I want to go with Virginia Tech because I think it's one of those situations where they're pretty evenly matched. It might be the home team that ends up with the advantage and wins.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, they've won 9 straight in Blacksburg, and I think their defense will get enough pressure on Zach Lee to force him to make a couple mistakes. And I'm just sitting here, scratching my head. I'm trying to think of when the last time Nebraska's won a big game was. When's the last time Nebraska's won a game that they shouldn't have won? The truth is, I can't remember because it's been so long. Maybe
Crouch against Oklahoma with Josh Heupel.
Maybe the 2005 Alamo Bowl when they beat number 20 Michigan, but yet that was Michigan's worst team since 1984 when they went 6-6. And by the way, Iowa shut them out in Kinnick Stadium, and that was the last time Michigan's been shut out. I just thought I'd throw that out there. But honestly, that's the last time that Nebraska's won a big game. And I don't think, until they prove to me that they can win a game that they're not supposed to win, I'm not going to pick them. So I'm going to go with Virginia Tech.
Get ready for Saturday.
I am getting ready for Saturday.
That's all I'm saying.
And also, there's not a lot of big games this weekend. This is ranked versus ranked, so we'll pick this one really quickly before I move on to the Iowa game. Number 21, Cincinnati, kind of have a meteoric rise already this season. They're unranked, and a lot of people didn't pick them to win the Big East. Now they're 21st in the country. They take on number 24, Oregon State in Corvallis. Oregon State, for the first time since 2005, they are 2-0, barely escaped last week versus UNLV. Jordan, we'll start with you. Who do you like in this one?
This is a battle of 2 teams that don't belong in the top 25 at all. I think we almost could both agree with that. Oregon State, as you mentioned, they squeaked one out against UNLV. They're not that impressive, and I think, seriously, that part of the fact they beat USC last year just kind of makes the players they have returning look a little better and get them into the top 25. They haven't done much to get there this year. Neither has Cincinnati because Rutgers is not that good of a team. The Big East is kind of a joke this year. This one's a toss-up. Again, I hate doing it like this, but Oregon State plays very well in Corvallis. I guess I'll pick them, but I don't think either team belongs in the top 25.
Mike, quickly, who do you got in this one?
I've got Cincinnati. I like Tony Pike. I like the way that program's heading, and I think Cincinnati does deserve to be in the top 25. So I'm taking Cincinnati to win that game. I'm
taking Cincinnati, too. I love Tony Pike, the 6'6", 210-pound quarterback. I love that Cincinnati offense. I'm going to go Cincinnati. But this is the big game, 2:30, ABC, Saturday in Kinnick. Iowa takes on Arizona. Mike Stoops is returning to Kinnick Stadium. Of course, he played here. He was an assistant here. And now he takes his Arizona team to Kinnick. They went to a bowl game last year. They were 8-5 last year, beating BYU in the Las Vegas Bowl. They've gotten 2 wins so far this season, once against Central Michigan. Of course, they beat Michigan State. And then also one against Northern Arizona. Mike, we'll start with you. Give me your keys to the game. Give me a final score. Let's talk Iowa, Arizona.
Well, the Hawkeyes, once again, need to stop the run. If you look at the statistics, Nick Grisby has the second most rushing yards in the NCAA through 2 games. Granted, against teams that don't have great defense, but we still have to acknowledge that. 38 carries, 325 yards. And then their quarterback, Matt Scott, has 131 yards on 16 carries. So they're both averaging over 8 yards a carry. So the defense, the front 7, they're really going to step up, stop the run. We're not going to be facing a spread offense this time. It's going to be more of a pro-style formation, which I think plays into our hands in terms of our defensive line being able to step up and stop the run. So the defense needs to step up. Our offense is going to have some trouble. Arizona has a very good defense. So I like the Hawks to win the game, though. I think we're going to win the game 27-17. I do think Arizona is going to score some points against us. They have a decent offense, and they can move the ball around. But I like the Hawks by 10 in Kinnick Stadium.
Jordan, do you like the Hawks in this one?
Yes, I do. 23-17. Arizona, they last year I actually thought they would end up, even though 8-5 is not a bad record, I thought they were going to be a little better than they ended up being. And they didn't quite get there. I do know Iowa, during the preseason, didn't have any even film on the Arizona quarterback because both their guys from spring practice are no longer starting. However, now they've got the film. The defense will be all right. Like Mike said, we'll give up some points. We still got to figure it out. We do need to slow down that running game. They haven't really faced a tough run defense, so a lot of teams can run wild the first couple weeks. But if we can shut down that running game and make them pass the ball, which they really haven't had to do much of this season, I think the Hawkeyes will have no problem taking this. And it'll be a very interesting matchup of 2 Mackey Award finalists or semifinalist tight ends because tight ends on both sides of the ball are going to be outstanding this week.
Definitely. I take the Hawkeyes in this one, too. I'm going to go 16-13. I think offenses will move the ball, but I think they'll be held to some field goals. I think Iowa will give up maybe 1 touchdown. Mike, you want to say something?
I just want to point out about the tight ends. I agree. Rob Gronkowski at Arizona is very good. There's still a question mark on whether or not he's going to be 100% in this game on Saturday. So I think if he's not 100%, that's huge for the Hawkeyes because if he is there, he can be like Tony Moyaki. He can really find those gaps, get in there, and really give our defense a hard time. So, but if he's only 75%, that's really going to play to the Hawkeyes' advantage. So we'll have to figure out whether or not he's going to be 100% for the game on Saturday.
And again, we've got to match their intensity. They're going to be pumped up for this game. It's a 2:30 national television ABC game, and I can tell you that they are excited about this game on campus in Tucson, and they really think this is a win that could put them on the map, and they want to get on the map. So we're going to have to, again, match the intensity of maybe a slightly lesser opponent and just really stick it to them early on.
Well, we all got Iowa, and so you can catch that game 2:30 in Kinnick. So if you got any comments you'd like to let us know about, whether we're good, whether we're bad, we want to hear from you. So email us. Our email address is uiowaist@gmail.com. I forgot it there for a second. Also, if you go to uiowaist, our YouTube channel, you can catch some of our older episodes in case if you missed them. So for Jordan Loperena and Mike Rabon, I'm Alex Solsma. We'll see you next time. But you know what Bob Knight says about game faces? I don't know what a game face is. In all my years of coaching.
Oh, yeah.
You ever seen that?
Okay, get serious.
Okay.